I really like this Pinstripe Bowl matchup. We have 7-5 Syracuse appearing in their first bowl game since 2018, facing off against 8-4 Minnesota that has one of the stingiest defenses in the country, but fell short of their preseason expectations. This is going to be a fun one, and we're here to break down everything you need to know and, of course, share our official prediction. So welcome back to the Gridiron Expert, guys. We're so glad you could join us today. As always, please continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and of course, check out everything down in the description below, including those expert picks over on our website, thegridironexpert.com. Some of the best college football and NFL spread picks in the country over there, guys. And we're offering up our holiday special. Our holiday special that will give you every college football bowl game spread pick and every NFL playoff spread pick for just $29.99. Some of the best picks in the country for $29.99. Every postseason game that is being played in football, we're giving it to you for a very low price, and we can guarantee that you will win with those picks. So go check it out. The link down in the description below over on thegridironexpert.com. So let's dive into this game, guys. I mean, this is a fun one. This is going to be really intriguing. Two teams that are certainly no stranger to the cold, although Syracuse, of course, does play in the Carrier Dome. But two teams that are going to be playing in pretty cold New York. Obviously, no stranger to that. Two teams where Syracuse had some lofty expectations after such a strong start, 6-0, fell short, went 1-5 down the stretch. Minnesota looked like they could win the Big Ten West and once again fell short of those goals. So 8-4, 8 wins, 9 wins seems to be about the mark for PJ Fleck. He had that 11-win season 1 year. Other than that, been about average for the Golden Gophers. But take a look at the offense, guys. We'll start with Syracuse. The Orange are averaging 28.3 points per game. That's significantly better than last year. The offense is looking a lot better than they did last year. They're averaging 224 passing yards per game, but 143 on the ground. Garrett Schrader's been phenomenal this year, over 2,300 yards, 17 touchdowns. Also has some dangerous dual threat capabilities, although we're seeing more of him as a passer more so than a rusher. Of course, they do have one of the best running backs in the country, definitely in the ACC, and Sean Tucker, over 1,000 yards and 11 touchdowns on the season. And then you have Oronde Gadsden II, 891 yards, 6 touchdowns on the year. He is the top wide receiver, really the top target for Garrett Schrader in the Syracuse offense. You take a look at the Orange a little bit deeper. This is a team that in the last 6 games, where they went 1-5, eclipsed 24 points just twice. So the offense over the course of the entire season has been pretty good, but the last half of the season, they kind of fell short a little bit. They had 35 points and a 10-point loss to Wake Forest. That's the only exception to that. And a 32-point outing against Boston College, who they beat by 9. So those are the only 2 instances where they scored more than 24 in those final 6 games. So they're kind of trending in the wrong direction here. And it kind of felt like the team just kind of fell apart after that heartbreaking loss to Clemson. Minnesota, on the other hand, they are also averaging 28.3 points per game, just like Syracuse. They love to run the football. 186 passing yards per game, but 218 rushing yards per game. That is Minnesota's strength. And you take a look at their quarterback situation first. Tanner Morgan has not played since November 5th. So more than likely, unless something changes, he will not be playing in his bowl game against Syracuse. Maybe he will, but if he does not, it's going to be Ethan Kaliakmanis, who's going to be the starter. He went 2-1 during the time as starter, 319 yards and 2 touchdowns in a win against Wisconsin. That was his last outing and looked pretty dang good. But obviously, regardless of who's under center, it's going to be the run game that's going to be the main focus for Minnesota. The Golden Gophers, guys, averaging, again, 218 rushing yards per game, led by Muhammad Ibrahim, over 1,500 yards on the year and 19 touchdowns. He is the difference maker, and we assume at the time of this video that he is playing. As of now, we have not heard if he's opting out, declaring for the draft, but we expect Muhammad Ibrahim to play in this game. He's looking pretty dang good. And I think he'll be able to wear down a Syracuse defense, allowing 150 rushing yards per game. You look at the Orange guys, they're only giving up 22.7 points per game. That's not bad. 189 passing yards per game. That's not bad. But 150 rushing yards per game is a little suspect, especially if you're playing a really good offensive line or as a really good running team, which Minnesota is. You take a look at the numbers here. The Orange gave up 212 rushing yards to Wake Forest, 230 rushing yards to Florida State, 161 to Pittsburgh, 246 to Notre Dame, 293 to Clemson, 149 to Virginia. The Orange have been susceptible to the run all year long. That is a concern facing one of the best rushing attacks in the country. Overall, pressure-wise, they do a good job. 31 sacks on the year. They have forced 19 turnovers. And maybe that's what they're going to try to do against a relatively inexperienced quarterback like Kaliak-Manis. They're going to try to do that against him, pressure him, force him into mistakes. But he hasn't been very mistake-prone during his time. Syracuse, to win this game, has to stop the run. Minnesota, on the other hand, we mentioned at the beginning, they have a stingy defense. Only 13.3 points per game is what they're allowing. 279.5 total yards per game. So we always say if you're holding a team to under 300 yards on average, you're doing a pretty dang good job. Minnesota's doing just that. 174 passing yards per game. That's all they're giving up. And they're giving up just 106 rushing yards per game. They have just 17 sacks. They don't create much pressure. But they have forced 17 turnovers. Not too bad. But you look at how they've been faring the last few weeks. The most points they've allowed in the final 5 games was 16 points. They've only allowed 16. The highest mark was 16 points. Granted, their opponents, Rutgers, Nebraska, Northwestern, Iowa, Wisconsin, none of them are offensive powerhouses, but still an impressive feat. And they've only allowed over 20 points twice this season to Illinois, a loss for them, and then a blowout loss to Penn State. So you look at Minnesota, guys, they are not allowing many teams scoring opportunities. Teams are struggling to get points on the board. And the common theme in those 2 games that we mentioned against Illinois and Penn State, where Minnesota actually allowed over 20, they had 3 turnovers against Illinois. 3 turnovers against Illinois. And they were outgained by nearly 140 yards against Penn State, allowing over 300 passing yards. If there's a weakness of Minnesota's defense, it's the secondary. And again, that's a big if. The question is, can Garrett Schrader attack that? Can he exploit that against the Golden Gophers? And I'm going to tell you right now, I think the answer is going to be no. I don't have faith in Syracuse offensively to beat Minnesota. This is a dang good defense, guys. They were 3rd nationally in defense last year. They are doing exceptionally well again this year. PJ Fleck is doing a phenomenal job there. If they could just figure out the offense and make it consistently, this could be a team that could win the Big Ten West and be much better than an 8 or 9 win team. But fortunately, that's how the cards fell. Minnesota, in my eyes, though, will win this Pinstripe Bowl. It's 2 teams trending in the right direction. They won 4 of their last 5 games. Syracuse lost 4 of their last 5 games. Minnesota's defense, to me, significantly better than that of Syracuse. And I do believe that Muhammad Ibrahim can slowly but surely wear down this Syracuse defense. Again, it's giving up 150 rushing yards per game. Minnesota will win the Pinstripe Bowl over the Orange. They will clinch their 3rd 9-win season under PJ Fleck, their 2nd in a row, which is great for Golden Gophers fans, but of course it's going to leave you wanting more, leave you wondering what if and will they ever clinch the Big Ten West. So guys, as always, thank you so much for watching us here at the Gridiron Expert on YouTube. Make sure to continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and of course, check out everything down in the description below, including those expert picks over on our website, thegridironexpert.com. Some of the best college football and NFL spread picks in the country over there, including that holiday special that gives you all of our postseason picks for college and NFL for just $29.99. Make sure you go check it out. Sign up today. And once again, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on the Gridiron Expert.